This small village of Shyrokyne has become a stumbling block for Putin's land bridge to occupied Crimea. Once famous for its resorts, now Shyrokyne evokes memories of the ruins left behind from World War II's Battle of Stalingrad. The front line has divided the settlement into two parts. The pro-Russian militants and Russian regular troops have been shelling Ukrainians from the east, but the commanding heights overlooking the battlefield make the west part of Shyrokyne a reliable Ukrainian stronghold. The rebels claim that NATO forces help Ukrainians hold the line, but the only European which we saw within Ukrainian ranks is Polish writer Vadim Krzyżaniak.
I'm the only volunteer here, a true volunteer. I get no salary. I'm not a mercenary. There's no mercenaries in the Ukrainian army, and there aren't any NATO legions here, unfortunately. Ukraine fights alone against Russia.
Here, the Donbas battalion fights the insurgents house to house and street to street. This Ukrainian volunteer soldier, nicknamed Shah, meets his 21st birthday right in the middle of combat with an RPG in his hands. The pro-Russian insurgents use tanks and self-propelled artillery systems strictly banned by the Minsk agreements.
This part from the fuse is from a 152mm shell.
The ceasefire agreement doesn't work here, but Russian artillery does. Can anybody tell me which caliber?
It's a 122mm self-propelled gun. You can see brand markings and the number of production.
Did it come yesterday?
Yes, it did.
These houses were destroyed by the insurgents' artillery just a couple of hours before we came to the village.
They shell up to 90 shells a day.
The OSCE Special Monitoring Mission insists upon its strict demands of demilitarization of Shyrokyne. At first glance, the idea looks reasonable. Both sides are supposed to withdraw their forces 2 kilometers distance from Shyrokyne and the civilians come back to the village. But even the monitoring mission cannot give the slightest guarantee that the militants will stay in their trenches.
Well, to my mind and to the strong opinion of the guys from the battalion, if we will give up our positions, and we will withdraw our forces on these 2 kilometers, the pro-Russian driven separatists, they will take over our positions. And it will be a disaster for Mariupol, because Shyrokyne is regarded to be a gate to Mariupol.
Demilitarization of Shyrokyne is not a good idea, the Ukrainian soldiers insist. In fact, the top secret of the battle for Shyrokyne is a secret of Polchinello. If the pro-Russian rebels gain their control on the commanding heights here, they could directly hit Mariupol with their multiple launch rocket systems, and then the crowded streets of the city of Mariupol can be turned into a warfare landscape like this. Andriy Tsaplienko and Shulga reporting from Donbas for Ukraine Today.